1998, Williams hosted the NCAAs. It's the one and only time we did that, and we knew going in that the team to beat was Santa Cruz. We felt amazingly lucky to get to the finals, and when we did, they proved that they were the best team that year in the country. In 1999, we traveled across the country to play in the Final Four. We were matched up with Santa Cruz in the first round. We thought going in that we had a chance, but on paper we were serious underdogs. I knew going into the match that the doubles was going to be a lost cause. Singles though, our plan all along had been to be slow and steady, get the ball back, and make them earn it. We knew that they were more talented in terms of their overall skill level, but we really thought we were competitive enough that if the match went on long enough, we could make a big dent and maybe even steal the match. So the match was laid out with the top three singles players playing on the lower level of courts, and then on the upper level, about 10 feet higher, were the bottom three singles matches. And my job was at that point to tour the two levels and try and keep track of 6 matches. So my second trip through the matches brought me up to Billy Stebbins' court. I get there just in time to see him slip and fall and pull himself up to change courts. He's now down a set and down 4-1, and he can't stand up on his feet because when I look at his shoes, he's got totally flat soles, no tread whatsoever. So I'm sitting with Billy on the changeover, and at this point so furious I can barely even talk to him. The thought that he would go to the national finals with a pair of shoes that was in that horrible shape, it was beyond me. I reached down, I took off my shoes, and I basically threw them at Billy, and I said, Billy, put these on and do whatever you need to do to see if you can make a difference. And then I stormed off. Now I'm back down at the lower level, so I'm hanging out down there, not able to see what was going on up at the top level. But on one of the changeovers sitting with Josh, I stood up on the bench and I looked up and I saw on the score sheet for Billy's court that he was now 4-4 in the second set. And I thought, holy mackerel, maybe miracles do happen. I left Billy, I thought, in good shape, went back down to the lower tier, and I had not paid any attention to what was going up on the upper level. So at this point, I'm back up on the top level, and I realize Billy is in a big hole for the third set. All energy is now focused to the top tier. The match was dead even and was all coming down to Billy, but Billy was way down, at least a break, maybe 2 breaks in the third set, and I was at that point thinking about what I would say to Coach Bob Hansen to congratulate his team on a great match. Then Billy gets broken again. He's down 5-4, and he's on the receiving end of one of the best kids to ever play serve and volley tennis in Division III tennis. The tension at this point and the sense of the moment is somewhat Twilight Zone-ish. Everybody is holding their breath, except for Billy, who's relaxed and talkative, and you would think he was on a Sunday afternoon for a funsy match on his home court. At this point, to be honest, I don't even remember what happened. Billy was winning points. It was clear that Fitzpatrick had lost his confidence. He was no longer coming to net. So I'm sitting down now because even just thinking back on this match, I'm getting a stomach ache and a headache. I thought, this is unfortunately not going to have a storybook ending. And sure enough, Fitzpatrick goes up match point against Billy, and he's serving and volleying like a US Open champ. And I'm thinking, boy, it was close, but it's not going to happen. At that point, a long rally ensues, lots of baseline battling. Fitzpatrick takes the ball, comes to net, and with his approach shot, puts Billy way off the court. And Billy tries and does hit a decent passing shot, but Fitzpatrick, who's now literally right in front of me where I'm sitting, has his racket out to cover this ball. He makes contact with it. Billy is pushing off from the fence, and no way he could get back onto the main court to play a ball. And Fitzpatrick, who just had to lay it over the net, lays the ball 2 inches wide of the sideline right in front of me. And I thought, holy mackerel. But before I knew it, players were climbing over the fence, running through the door, and jumping over the net to tackle Billy in the middle of the court. Personally, I was so exhausted and so stunned, I remember just sitting where I was, taking the whole thing in, and that I had a tap on my shoulder from the opposing coach, Bobby Hansen, who gave me a very generous, sincere, and warm handshake. And I thought to myself, that was about as hard a thing to do as a coach ever has to do. Everybody had just enough gas to play great first sets and then barely hang on in the second set to let us win the national championship. So it was an unbelievable 2 days, and I'm looking back on it now as stunned now as I was then.